Welcome to Getcha Rocks Off with Mick Wall, the world's leading rock and metal writer, and his interruption-prone companion, Jon Hodden. Each week, they'll unpack rock and roll stories that you won't find in print. So pour yourself a Jack and Coke and get ready to get your rocks off. This episode is brought to you by the Getcha Store. For all of your Getcha Rocks Off merch, including t-shirts, face masks, and yep, Hotel Tropicana coffee mugs, head over to getchastore.com.
I want action
tonight, satisfaction tonight. See, that's it. Straight away, now we're off the cursed Twitter list that we mentioned last time of bands we have to cover. Now we're talking about a proper band.
The real
This
deal.
is why we do a podcast. Let's talk about some people who are fun and funny and
talented.
yeah.
Didn't bring in outside writers.
No, just did their own.
Yeah.
Talks cheap, mama's fallen angel.
Yeah.
There's a chorus for you.
I have no idea what that is, but I agree. I'm feeling the heat.
Yeah.
I tell you, my favourite.
Desmond Child hasn't brushed up against Poison.
Desmond Child may have written "You Give Love a Bad Name,"
Well, he did, yeah.
but did he ever write? And then you get these fake metal bands like
Yeah.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. They wrote a couple of songs. Sweet Child of Mine. I mean,
Well, we all remember it, but, it's not the
Well-
only song ever, is it?
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think of the life Slash might have led.
Had he
Being
come
the-
up with this,
No.
Ooh, how's the next bit go?
Oh, I don't know.
No, hang on. No. How's it
Anyway,
go?
we can't
Okay.
we can't
Talk dirty to me.
yes, that's it. Yeah, essentially it goes talk dirty to me.
Woo.
Very briefly, one of those sliding doors moments, Slash auditioned for Poison.
Okay.
Poison being the band we're talking about
I was going to
today.
say, I'm glad you said that because we hadn't.
Poison.
Actuality.
Okay, who listening to this podcast does not know the songs of Poison that we've been singing?
Yeah, and if you don't
Talks
know
cheap, Mom's fallen angel.
Yeah, what the fuck is
It's
that? I don't know what
Fallen
the fuck-
Angel.
Fallen Angel.
That's a great.
That's one of their latter.
pop metal classics. No, it's on the fucking first album.
No, it isn't. That's rubbish. No, you're thinking of. I don't know what you're thinking of, but is it on the first album?
Oh, the second one. Whatever. I always get confused.
No.
I always get confused because they did Look What the Cat Dragged In
Yeah.
on their own label, didn't they? And then it got
They
signed up.
recorded it in 12 days?
Yeah, something
for
like it. It was one of those things,
$23,000.
One of those. And they did the greatest cover in history with the 4 pictures of them. And if you see, didn't I send you the one of the person,
old
the
man.
updated one?
I still have an original vinyl which they all signed.
Oh.
But I remember being given it.
That'll be worth $50.
I remember being given it and thinking, fuck, the fuck? I mean, how it stayed with... You're right, Charlie. I warned you not
Almost
to do...
choked then.
Don't do the blow
I suddenly
while
thought
you're doing
about
the podcast.
people who used to give you signed stuff. The greatest one ever of those was talking about people who came into Kerrang.
Oh, yeah.
Always to review the singles. Excuse me.
You're all right there, John.
I'm all right.
You're not doing well, are you?
One day...
You've aged badly.
One day, the guy who came in was Craig McLachlan, who'd been in Neighbours.
Ah.
The actor.
Oh, the
Craig
the
McLachlan.
Craig McLachlan.
He put out a single,
This rings
and
a
it
bell.
was sort of briefly a hit.
Was it metal?
No,
Or
it wasn't.
middle?
It wasn't
Was it
metal.
middle?
It wasn't metal. We were doing it ironically. He didn't think it was ironic.
No.
He came in like Nelson. He came in with his guitar. But when he opened and he did play his single, and we weren't anyway. But he
Did you have to call security?
Well, the other thing was when he opened his guitar case, as if by magic, inside were a load of 8x12s of him.
Sign.
Which he then proceeded to sign one for all of us.
What, to John?
No, but that was the funny thing. He's going around just signing them. So he does one for Jeff Barton. Imagine when that one ends up.
Oh yeah, straight into the filing basket.
It gives me mine. It gives me mine. It says to Ron, Craig McLachlan. Oh dear.
I've got a great signing story for you. This is a great signing story. So, 80s, me and Ross, again, we're off on our travels.
Ross Halfin.
Yeah, and we're always doing.
I'm just clarifying for the listeners there.
Yeah.
You say me and Ross. I know you mean Ross.
No, I
Halfin.
deliberately didn't mention his last name, but you kind of let the cat.
Look what the cat let out.
There you go. Yeah.
Look what the cat let out.
No, bless him. So we're off to see Metallica.
We're off to see Metallica,
and we're on the plane, and Ross has got all these books, including that book on the Cray twins.
Oh yeah, John Pearson, Profession of Violence.
The Profession of Violence.
Yeah.
And he goes to me. Lars said to me, "Do you think you could get it signed?"
What, by the Cray?
They were both still alive at this point, and we were both laughing.
Okay, yeah.
And I said, "Give it here, give it here."
Yeah.
So I got a pen, and I wrote to Lars, kill 'em all. Reggie Cray. Was he the heavy one, Reggie, or was it Ron?
Yeah, Reggie was the mad one.
Yeah, I said, to Lars, kill 'em all, Reggie Cray. And we were both pissing ourselves, thinking, we'll give it to him and then we'll tell him.
Yeah.
We gave him the book, and he had a meltdown. He was so thrilled.
Oh,
he
no,
could
then
not
you couldn't
believe
tell him.
that Reggie Cray had written "Kill 'Em All" to Lars.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like, "I want to thank you. Yeah. I want to thank you, you guys. I want to thank you. No, you don't understand what this means to me. I want to thank." And we're going, "Oh shit! Tell him quick! Too late."
Yeah, the moment's gone.
So to this day, he has it framed on the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I'd like to imagine it.
No, what happened was, when he sold his art collection.
Could you possibly turn your...
No, I can't turn it off because I'm referring to it.
Oh, you're referring
research,
to it.
Research.
You mean it's not all just, locked in?
You said to me, what was the name of that guy from Poison? The guitarist, the first guitarist.
Oh, the original.
Matt someone. That's what you said.
Matt Smith. And this is before he got the role in Doctor Who and then later The Crown.
Exactly, yes.
So he had a good career.
Yeah, he did. He's a very good... Anyway, look, fuck all that.
Poison!
Yeah, Poison.
So, seriously, the first time I met them was when I don't know if I've ever mentioned, I used to, in the mid to late 80s.
If the next words I had a show on MTV...
It wasn't MTV, it was Sky.
Oh, Sky, that's it. I saw the clip. Someone posted a clip the other day. What was the band you were on with?
Mammoth,
that's it.
And Kim McAuliffe from Girls'
that's
School.
right. Mammoth, that's right. It did make me laugh because you were there with your little mullet that you used to have.
Mullet, no.
What was it?
Long hair.
Yeah.
80s style.
Yeah, and you were wearing a Kerrang t-shirt, double thumbs up. But and Mammoth
and a leather jacket.
And they were doing that thing where Mammoth were a band where the internal gag was they were all a bit overweight.
Hence
Mammoth. But I mean, it's not like,
Can I just interject?
Go on.
They weren't a bit overweight.
Well, okay.
Fucking fat. That's what they were.
What made me think of it was I had to interview them at the time as well. And they did exactly what they did when you were interviewing, was sitting there eating cake because they had to ram home the fact they were mammoth and they were fat and they were always really hungry.
Were they
So
eating
through the
on
whole
show?
interview,
I don't remember them eating.
they were eating cake and then
Really?
prancing about in the rings. His Crusher in that ridiculous TV jacket he used to wear that
With
had
the
raccoons,
foxes, raccoon tails.
raccoon tails on it. You could always tell when he thought he was going to be on TV because he wore that jacket.
I had him on 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
There was one time I had him on, it was the first UK or European TV appearance by Faith No More.
Oh, and he was Jim, wasn't he?
Because big sick Jim Martin was so hungover, because we used to record the show at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it. And I went, because he was the one I was looking forward to talking to. Because we knew, again, they had come to the Kerrang office, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh no. And then I thought, Crusher, because Crusher and Big Jim were like separated at birth.
Yeah, they
weren't
really did look quite identical. Yeah.
So I called him up, and he came down, and all he did was sit there, and every now you go, "You all right, Jim?" And he'd go, "Sick."
Yeah.
And we would all crack up laughing but they weren't that famous.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. No one would know.
So no one knew.
Yeah.
People, it was like, why did this guy just say sick? And why do they laugh? Yeah, we never told them.
Never.
Telling them now. Yeah. Now that it's 33 years later.
That's fine.
That's fine. So Poison. I used to show the age, and they came on. And that, I think, was when I was given they were, in those days, they were managed by Rod Smallwood, who was Iron Maiden's manager.
Yes. And also Anne Boleyn's manager.
And also Wasp.
And Wasp's manager, correct.
And lots of others, but they were Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
That
was mad. Xavier loved Halloween, didn't he?
I liked Halloween on that first album, the Keys
to the Seven Kingdoms or something.
Part 1.
Yeah.
And then there was part 2.
Yeah, but in the middle there was something called like Pink Bubbles Go Ape or something. What? And it blew it. It completely. That's why.
Pink Bubbles.
Yeah.
No.
No, honestly, I swear to you. Get your phone out now while I'm talking, because I will say this. Rod signed them up because they were part of that first wave of thrash where you had Anthrax, Metallica, Slayer, all of those guys. They were Euro. They were German, right? And they had made Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1, as you say, and then they made some weird album. Go on, Google.
I don't even know what Google is, because I have it all here in the Titanic metal brain. You see, while you're doing that, I will mention very briefly that if you would like a Getcha Rocks Off T-shirt, or indeed bikini bottoms.
Yeah,
I have no idea why. How do we end up with
I don't know why they're so popular, the bikini bottoms.
I don't know.
No.
I don't. I mean, I stopped wearing them years ago.
Yeah.
Which reminds me. I mean, I came home last night, in a good mood, and first thing I did was take my wife's knickers off. Because they were really pinching me.
Oh, God, that was a joke last heard on the Dick Emery show in about 1974.
That's what you call classic gold.
Yeah, gold. Yeah.
But I think relevant to Poison.
If you go to www.getcharocksoff. What's it called? Get Your Store. That's it. It's called getyourstore.com. All the merch is there. Lovely merch.
Mugs.
I guarantee you every single item is black. That's all I can guarantee you.
You can get a hoodie. I noticed
you can get a hoodie. Yeah.
You can get a fucking hoodie.
You can, yeah.
Why don't we have any of this stuff?
I don't know.
HQ, I don't know, send us the stuff.
Yes, get it in the mail.
Yeah. So, but this is relevant to Poison because Poison were the band that the expression "chicks with dicks"
was coined
for, because they were all prettier than your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you might have the prettiest girlfriend in the world.
But they were still not as pretty as Bret Michaels. He was amazingly pretty.
He was.
Really was. Yeah.
I mean, my little heart used to go pitter-patter.
And he was the first of the rock contingent to squire Pamela Anderson, wasn't he? Before
he schooled her, I believe, is the expression.
I would say he squired her around town.
Didn't they do a sex tape? Wasn't that the original sex tape?
Standard now, but back in the day, very original.
Everybody has a sex tape now.
But you can't get away with it. You got a phone, haven't you? You can make a sex tape. But back then, you needed all the gear. Yeah. Only rock stars could afford a video camera.
Absolutely, and you couldn't find it online because there was no online.
There was no online.
You had to dial a 1-800 number.
Yeah, and even then, it was like, well, is that it? Yeah, I don't know. But
Bret Michaels, Rob
apparently
Lowe.
they made a sex tape. Yeah.
Who knew? No, definitely.
Who
Would
knew?
you like to see it? I'd like to buy one. And if you go to the Getcha store, you'll find
if you go into the sex tape section under Rock Stars B, you'll find it. Yeah.
It's interesting though, isn't it, that Bret had the sex tape with, was it Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson.
And then didn't...
I just said it literally 5 seconds ago.
No one listens to when you speak. Yeah. They go to the toilet and make tea. But didn't Pamela And just also do a sex tape with Tommy Lee.
He did. She did. Well, it was one of those things where I think,
I
think
Pamela.
she said,
obviously clearly liked the sex tape.
I've read her say where they got, I'm making the inverted commas gesture, leaked.
Oh yeah.
But quite often that was a decision between the parties involved. That was, you would say it was leaked.
So you get the publicity.
And then you would sell the tape and you would make money for the sales of the tape.
Yeah. See, I did a sex tape.
Yeah, they're still waiting for that to leak. The only thing that leaked was the people involved.
No, I did a
and
sex
it was
tape.
revolting.
I did a sex tape, but the feedback
Is this going to be
got,
another Dick Emery joke?
No. The feedback I got though wasn't good.
It was thanks but no thanks.
Well, it was. We can't sell a video that doesn't last longer than 60 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm like, no, come
Yeah.
on. No one goes longer than 60 seconds.
Come on, man.
Next you'll be saying women have orgasms.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come off it, mate.
Yeah, come off it, pal.
Yeah. So anyway, the Mick Wall sex tape era didn't last.
No, it wasn't. It didn't take off. But Poison. So they come in the studio with their signed record, and it's Brett and Cece. Cece DeVille, named after the Cadillac Coupe DeVille.
Fans of the very first episode of Getcha Rocks Off might remember that.
No, we never tell the same story more than twice.
No.
Never less than 10 times. Real name, Bruce.
Cece.
Real name, Bruce.
Okay.
I forget the next part, but Bruce. And Brett Michaels wasn't Brett either, was he? No, he was Bruce, was he?
Oh, Jesus, this is just... I mean, it's pathetic in a way. It really is. It's like half-remembered things.
But they were kind of like the living embodiment of like a young, new generation living embodiment of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
How mid-80s can you get Brett Michaels?
Brett Michaels is his real name. His real surname is Sychak, Sychak.
Brett isn't his real name.
Brett's his real name.
No. What's it short for?
Motherfucker. Yeah, you're right. CC was born Bruce Anthony Johansson.
You see, you should have stuck with that.
Stuck with that.
He could have been B.A.
Very
Johansson.
good. Very good. Yeah, they know they were. And I think the reason I think you kind of saying that is they make a very famous appearance in Penelope Spheeris's film, The Decline and Fall of Western Civilization. Part 2, The Metal Years, one of the great documents of the time. And the reason it's fantastic is that when she made the film, she sort of went up and down Sunset Strip at that time in the rock clubs and just pulled out all the kids who were in bands and were trying to make it and interviewed them. And then obviously, in the gap in making films, especially in that time when nothing was digital, there was a gap between filming it and release. So in between filming and release of the Decline and Fall, a couple of the bands made it.
Yeah.
A couple of them, and Poison were one of them. So when she filmed it, they were still this nascent Sunset Strip full of, the joys of life and hoping that they might. By the time it came out, they're like number one in America, So she's got this big sort of hit on that. The other band that was in there that had happened to was Faster Pussycat.
Right.
To a slightly lesser degree, but the time she filmed it, they had the club, the cat house and all of that stuff. So.
But do you know what made Poison different? Two things really, but the main thing that hit me immediately, and these are the days when we were interviewing bands every
left,
bloody
right, and
day,
centre.
yeah.
Well, it was almost as if it was a job.
But like you mentioned, Faster Pussycat. I remember meeting Tie Me Down.
Yeah.
And or Tie Me Down Sport, as he's always been known in Australia, with his extra leg. Yeah. They were great fun. I met Guns N' Roses at the same stage. They were great fun.
Yeah.
Poison were that 10 times. They were like the fucking Marx Brothers bursting through the door.
Yeah.
They were just on a natural high. Sure, there were many unnatural highs.
Yeah.
But 10 in the morning, they were just, hey man, but it was real. You could say,
I think they were genuinely delighted by
completely
the fact that this record they made for $23,000 or whatever it was
dollars, which in those days was about £8,000.
Was number one in America.
Yeah.
'Cause
baby,
talk dirty to me. Oh, yeah. Ain't nothing but a good time. That's the next one.
You're moving the narrative on.
That's the next one.
No, there was another big one on...
Talks cheap, mama's fallen angel. That's the one.
No. I won't forget you, babe. I won't forget you. Oh, that one?
No.
Fuck off. That was one of the...
That one.
What are you doing on your phone?
I'm looking up
Stop doing TikTok.
What album fucking...
He's doing fucking TikTok.
I'm not doing TikTok. I'm looking for the first album. Look what the cat dragged in. Oh, Cry Tough. That's it.
Yeah.
Cry Tough. Yeah.
But my favourite was I want action
tonight, satisfaction tonight.
All right.
Yeah. That's what they were great at. Those kind of brainless choruses.
So fantastic.
Yeah. Just in the very best way, completely empty.
But like a sugar rush.
Yeah. Yes.
There were no pretensions to be.
They're not trying to write Stairway to Heaven.
No. No. And in fact, if you look at the video for Talk Dirty to Me, I watched it again the other day in connection with another thing I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, John, I'm over here. Stop looking at the fucking phone! The other thing I noticed was, like CC, when it comes to the guitar solo, he kind of plays like he's kind of going ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding. He's like ding-a-ding, and he throws the guitar away. And another one, a different colour, comes in his hand. They're not pretending to be real.
Yeah.
They're sending everything up.
Yeah.
It's quite choreographed. And in fact, there's a video I found on YouTube of them from 2 years before, when they still had the original guitarist Matt Smith, when hardly anybody's got blonde hair, just a few streaks, and they're doing their classic rock like a rocker.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that hideous Billy Squier video that ruined his career, because Brett he's got these sort of moves. He's waving his arms. And at one point he does that kick. But you can see he's kind of building up to it. Now I do the kick. Go do the kick. Done the kick.
Yeah.
But as he does the kick, the other guitarists stand in front of him, and it's so amateurish.
Yeah.
Rock like a rocker. Yeah. It's rubbish. But... it was all there. The choreography, the idea that they would have this, we're going to do this and you do that. They hadn't taken it to that comic height they achieved 2 years later.
Yeah.
But it was all there from the beginning.
Yeah. It was sort of cartoonish in the best possible way.
They kind of took the cartoon-ish and ran with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember Slash and Duff. I remember Axl saying to me, Slash and Duff are the cartoon figures in the band. But that, which was true, but the Guns N' Roses had the darker thing. You know, you watch Slash. Slash didn't pretend. Slash pretended to play guitar in the videos. He wanted it to be real. CC DeVille, clearly, it was like the monkeys of metal. They just didn't give a shit.
Yeah. CC's not trying to make out he's kind of Eddie Van Halen or something. Yeah.
But he was the musical genius of the group. And as you alluded to earlier, before CC came in, the original guitarist Matt leaves because he gets his girlfriend pregnant, and he does the right thing and stays with her. And so they start auditioning, LA 85, and one of the guys who turns up is someone called Slash. And according to their interviews, so you don't know if it's true, but Brett and Ricky really liked Slash.
Yeah.
But Bobby Dahl didn't think Slash fitted.
Yeah. And Bob, we all know Bobby had the last say.
Well, he was sort of the leader.
Yeah.
Because they were all blonde and he was black. Oh, in that Rock Like a Rocker, I swear to God, Bobby Dahl's got like a Kiss star on his eye.
Yeah.
Or someone had punched him, I don't know. But could be. So they're like, oh yeah, this guy's Slash. And they were like, he knew all our songs. It was perfect. And then this guy, C.C. DeVille, walks in. What more 80s name?
Yeah.
It's like, Michael St. Michael's, Ian St. John, I was a footballer, wasn't I? Anyway, he was pre-80, innovative, clearly, in the name field.
But CC's like, he's small, isn't he?
His hair is bigger than CC.
His hair is just mad. I mean, his
hair is bigger than CC.
Yeah.
And he comes in and they're like, okay, so you've learned. He went, no, man. I didn't learn the songs. Here, use this. It's better. And he just plays them that talk dirty to me. He wrote the whole thing, and I just went, fuck it, this guy. This is the guy.
Yeah.
And then cut to 88, I was in the Rainbow with Slash, and at the next table was CC, and the two of them nearly had a fight,
Right.
because Slash accused CC of ripping off the idea of the top hat.
Oh, yes.
These are
I remember
serious musical
you've
differences.
touched on this before. Yes, yeah.
What is this before?
Because you've spoken about the top. We had a top hat convo.
No.
We definitely did.
No,
I'm going to have to start.
What's your name, Ian? What's his name?
I'm going to have to start policing this more thoroughly.
Less interrupting, more policing.
Yes,
or
maybe.
More of
Who
everything.
knows? More of everything. So let's get forward. Let's get forward. So what happens quite often with those bands? They will become one-hit wonders. A scene will spring up around them, but they will fall by the wayside. Not Poison. They go out and make a knock it out the park second record.
They take it to the next level.
Let's say that. Very, very rare. We've spoken quite often about second album syndrome. Poison have the complete diametric opposite of second album syndrome. They make an absolute killer.
Nothing
but a good time. And they do they come up with a great ballad. Every rose has its thorn. And just as John Bon Jovi, who we mentioned in the previous podcast, John Bon Jovi, was trying to do the cowboy thing.
Yeah.
With Wanted. But I advanced the theory that was something of a pastiche. Brett, for some reason, absolutely nails it. He's kind of got a sort of leather cowboy hat.
Of course.
But he's still a rock star. He's a kind of rock star cowboy. Again, the joke is brilliant. Do
you remember the video?
Yeah, I do remember the video.
It starts, it's kind of late at night, you hear thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Because he's soulful. It's late
exactly.
at night. I'm
Yeah,
reflecting.
yeah.
I'm sitting here dressed
in my
like,
leather cowboy hat.
Yeah, dressed like someone from Boys Town in a leather cap and a ton of fucking makeup. With my green lipstick,
Cowboys had that,
Absolutely. Here I am in my Getcha Rocks Off bikini bottom.
And my chaps.
I think he did wear.
He probably did, yeah.
I can picture his bottom now, but that could be the sex tape. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
You have to double check.
But I always thought that was a cheesy, horrible ballad until I saw the video.
Right.
And then I was sold.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't believe I
But also, it's great, but it's not a kind of lighters in the air ballad in the way of...
I don't know.
Well, no, it is, but it's not I suppose it's not the kind of formulaic Diane Warren stroke Michael Bolton where you get the big... sort of chords, second chorus, you get the massive chord sequence and all that. It's slightly more understated than that.
There is a great guitar solo on it, though.
There is, it's a great song. It's a great song. It's a great song, but it's sort of, you can tell it's not written by one of those, balladeer craftspeople like Desmond Child or someone who, you do this with the intro, this is the first chorus, this is the second chorus, this is the bridge, guitar solo. Massive outro chorus. It doesn't sort of follow that pattern.
And there aren't those session musicians coming in to keep it up.
No, there's not all of a sudden a massive keyboard on it or something.
Or orchestration arranged by Mozart.
Yeah. It's not that. It's just a kind of quite good but still quite funny.
Their producer, Rick Browdy.
Yeah, Rick
Browdy.
He
was a character. He was a character. So I got to know him a little bit in LA, and
wasn't he up? Sorry to interrupt. I know that, but this is
but please don't.
Browdy,
please do interrupt.
Was he then not up for Guns N' Roses at one point? When they were going through producers to do Use Your Illusion. I think Browdy was one of them who was up for it. Yeah,
because he'd done Poison.
Because he'd done Open Up and Say
Was it Cherokee? No, it was another studio. Anyway, I went to see him. I have no idea why, but we were hanging out. Very funny guy. Weirdly, he was the perfect Poison producer because they were like fireworks going off in the room.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything. You just sat there and enjoyed the show. They were really sweet and funny and hilarious. And it's great to meet you. and whoa. Rick was like that in a slightly darker way, but incredibly ebullient, and suddenly your new best friend. Here's my number. What's your number? And it was great. I loved him. And then about 2 nights later, I'm sitting there working on a story on a typewriter, and there's a dog at the door. Sorry, hang on. It's my bad back. No, it's not Coco the metal pug. It's Willow, the Jack sausage. Willow is a Jack sausage. Half sausage dog, half Jack Daniels. There she is now. Yeah. She's vicious, but we call her the commander. Don't fuck with Willow. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah, so a couple of nights later, I'm tapping away on my typewriter. Like 10 o'clock at night, the phone goes. And it's this voice going, "Hi, is that Mick Wall?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Hi, this is..." And it was some made-up name like Joe Schnauzer, calling from the Rolling Stones. "We heard you're the guy. We're looking for a really big thing for Rolling Stone. And, but we've told them we will only use our own rider, and you've come highly recommended." And I'm kind of like, yeah,
that's me.
Oh, that's clearly me, yes. I can see why that would be the case. "So we would like to fly you to New York to meet with Keith and Mick." And I'm going, fucking hell, it's amazing. This is amazing. I'm like, so in.
This is almost too amazing.
I assume you like the Stones. I'm fucking
the Stones.
Like the Stones?
Yeah.
Man, it goes on and on. Then suddenly I can hear this. They can't keep it together. I hear this snickering and laughter. And it's Rick. It's Cece. And a few others who'd obviously been up late at night doing
for a
things.
long time.
And they were just going, "Ha ha, we got you, man. Cunts." And I just put the phone down like that, like that, John, like that. "Oh, Willie, I'm sorry." No, she'll piss if I touch her. She does. She's known me 11 years, and she still fucking goes, "Who is that guy?"
You have that effect on a lot of women.
If he goes to stroke me, I'm going to piss.
Yeah. This
So
was
that
known
was sex-
throughout the 80s.
You've heard of Me Too?
Yeah.
Me, it was You Too, not You Too. I met that Mick Wall. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
Not unless he touches you.
Yeah.
Piss. Especially if you're a dog.
Yeah. So anyway, they're all like, "Ha ha, we got Mick Wall."
I was
good."
so fucking
This is why
embarrassed
they
and
locked you in a
furious.
fucking cupboard, because you didn't take the joke very well.
The cupboard. I'd forgotten about that.
The cupboard. Well, this was. Let me set the scene. Poison become.
Did we tell this story?
No.
Are you sure?
This is one of the ones that the kids will be waiting for. You're famous for two things. Don't fool yourself. You're
things.
famous for. You're
The
famous for
sex
getting the
tape.
ring.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you're famous for being locked in a cupboard by poison.
See, when I die, on my gravestone,
In your obituary in the Times.
it'll go, "Well known as the guy in Get in the Ring."
Yeah, and not
Locked
only
in a
did he
cupboard.
fuck off Axl Rose, he fucked off Bret Michaels too.
So, the first
So
album...
anyway, Poison are now massive, right? Guns N' Roses are big and all that. Yeah, Poison have their period with the first two records where they are big, all over the world. So that's the sort of scene setter. This is the Poison you're now walking into.
Okay, they were in that overlap period where in America...
Don't contradict me. They were big.
No, they were big, but listen, they were opening for David Lee Roth on his Skyscraper tour. And they were, when I say overlap, what I mean is there comes a moment, whether it's Metallica or Motley, where you're actually bigger than the headline.
That's right, because all these things are booked months in advance.
Months in advance.
Yeah.
And as the manager of Poison say, this is what you want to happen.
Yeah.
On the Billy Squier tour that I was on in '84, Rat were opening.
Yeah.
And Rat were blowing Billy off every night.
Yeah.
And it was similar with David Lee Roth. Skyscraper had not been the hit they hoped. And although Roth was still headlining arenas, they had to have the hottest band in America opening to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So we're at this Enormo Dome in New Jersey. I forget what it was called. And
Was it the Meadowlands?
yeah, Meadowlands. Yeah, thank you.
Just ask me.
Yeah, you know.
King of Rock.
Yeah,
I've been all these places.
And it's because they're the support band as well. This is what put doubt in my mind. As a support band, you only get given certain passes and access to certain. And Roth was the control fucking freak. So it was like, you cannot walk down this corridor, but you can go
unless you're staying up for 3 days taking cocaine with me.
With him, obviously.
In which case you can.
Yeah, you can do anything as long as you hold my hand and we do a sack of cocaine for 12 hours. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing. You got that on your pass as well.
You don't need it. You just have a Coke spoon.
Yeah.
You carry a sack over your shoulder.
Knows.
Yeah,
that's the sign to Dave.
Yeah, that's Dave's guy.
Yeah,
he's off to see Dave. So, me and a certain photographer, we're placed in a room. It's not a cupboard. It's a room. It's a big empty room. Like your voice.
Gary
echoes.
Moore. It's Gary Moore stuff.
Empty rooms
where we learn to live without you. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And we're in there. We're not allowed to go anywhere. We're just sat there. We're looking at each other going, oh, okay, this is shit. But something will happen at some point.
You're looking at your pass going, I'm sure it says cocaine and access here.
I remember we actually went out of the door at one point. We were like, where are you going? Get in the room. It was like one of Roth's fucking army. It was like, oh shit.
Okay, I'll get back in.
Yeah, because what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So, and then the next thing, there's this commotion, and there's an adjoining door to another identical room. Turns out to be Poison's dressing room, and it is groaning with food and drink, and you hear them coming in and go, whoa, yeah, because this is what they're like. Yeah, baby, yeah, can't go. Psh, beers. And, hey, man, I was throwing things and having fun.
They're having nothing but a good time.
They're having nothing but a good time. We're having nothing like
You're having nothing but a bad time.
We're having nothing but a sad time.
Yeah.
And
Ross will be taking that with particularly well.
Good-humoured.
Taking that particularly well, yeah.
Ambience.
Yes.
Literally, Ricky Rocket, it kind of like, what's in here? Opens the door. What's in here? And he comes in, and there's me and Ross just sat there with the faces. And he's like, oh, yeah. And he just fucks off again, closes the door. I'm thinking, well, that's nice.
What would have been brilliant? If he'd gone, you come to interview the Stones? Just back to that joke, like bang, that would have been good.
Yeah.
I'd have found that funny.
Yeah.
I'd have found that funny.
So we're thinking, okay, well, at least one of them has seen us that we're here.
They know we're here.
So something will
He's
now
now
happen.
seen our friend, Mick Wall, who supported us.
Very important friend.
Very,
has
very
flown
important
all the way
man
from England
to come here
specifically to put us on the cover of Kerrang magazine,
to help further our career even more.
Absolutely.
What shall I do next?
So obviously Ricky's gone in the dressing room. Hey, those great guys from Kerrang are here.
Yeah.
Let's So
invite them in. We've got a lot of food and drink. They could maybe have.
We'll walk to the stage with them.
Yeah.
I'll hand them a towel for the encore.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, well, something will now happen at last. Because we've been in this room now for about an hour.
Yeah.
Nothing, no mobile phones in those days.
No.
No one, you can't check or no internet.
Yeah.
You just sat there going, will someone come and do something? Yeah. And so we're waiting, thinking, it's been 15 minutes. Surely something's going to... A bloke comes in. A bloke has come in,
Hooray.
He goes straight to the door. He locks it. Fucking locks the door. So something happened. They obviously went to the security gate. Look, those fucking guys, you better lock that door, otherwise they're going to come in here. So we're looking at each other going, can you believe this? You think, well, something's got to happen sooner or later.
Yeah.
2 hours we're in there, and you can hear the place.
You hear the show. You hear the Poison show. Nothing but in the background.
No. What we hear is we hear the tour, because it's the adjoining fucking room. You only have to listen, Yeah. And the tour manager go, right, you guys ready? And they're like, yeah. Hello, Cleveland. And we hear them leave to go and do the show.
Yeah.
And we're going, the fuck?
Yeah.
And suddenly it's been really noisy because they're having nothing but a good time.
Yeah.
And me and Ross, as you can imagine, we're muttering at this point about what we're going to do. But I'm still thinking, well, at least, when they go on stage, at that point, surely we'll be
that's
let out of the room.
Yeah.
Nothing. All we can hear in the distance.
Action tonight, satisfaction. Yeah.
And we're going,
screaming girls. Yeah.
And we're thinking, this is actually now weird.
This is actually happening to
This
me.
is happening to me.
Mick Wall.
Mick Wall.
Yeah.
You know, rock with a capital R.
Yeah. There are going to be repercussions.
There will be fucking
We're already thinking that. Yeah. Yeah.
Ross is going to, you've got to fucking put this in the story. You've got to fucking put this in. Don't flake on it. Don't put that they're fucking nice guys. Put they're fucking arseholes. I'm going, all right, easy. So in the end, Ross has managed to find some old magazines in his bag or something. And I'm literally like, there's nowhere to sit. So I'm lying on the floor, you know, on my resting on my elbow, reading some shit magazine. Ross is in the corner reading some other thing. And it's 40 minutes later. They're coming literally to the end of the show. And suddenly the door opens and the tour manager comes in. And he goes, right, you guys ready to come and see the show? And
you said, what, the show that's just...
That's just finishing. And I went, I don't think we're going to bother, mate.
Yeah.
And in America, it's like if I go to France, I will try and speak a little French. If I go wherever, I will try and... I don't want to be that bloke who ain't even giving it a... So in America, I would...
Got an American accent.
No, not an American accent, but I'd use the vernacular. So I would say sidewalk and not pavement.
Oh, that must have been amazing.
Because I wanted to be understood.
Yeah.
But that's gone. So he goes, you guys ready to see the show? I went, I don't fucking think so, mate.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he understands me, but he gets the vibe. And
Get-
then Ross
yeah.
gives him that front.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay. So he leaves.
yeah.
He leaves, closes the door, and we're going, fuck me. We hear them come back from doing their show. They're in the room, and it's still like, whoa, wow, we kicked ass. Yeah. Whoa, yay, party, you know. And they've got girls going in there, and we're still in this. We're going, what the fuck? And finally, the door opens quick, and they all burst in. And me and Ross are just looking, and Brett goes to me, hey, you want a beer? I've been in there 3 hours at this point. I went, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I went, oh, come on in, man, come on in. So I go in the dressing room, and it's lush, you know. He goes, yeah, help yourself. I went, I ain't hungry. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
But then Ross still has to take pictures of them. And in the room we were in, it was where the showers were. Because Ross always took you into... Because he used to say the lighting was good. And
that's what he said.
That's what he said. Good excuse to get them to take their clothes off, usually. So he does all his stuff, and we fuck off. And he goes, you've got to promise me you're going to fucking nail them in the story, right? So I did.
You did. You definitely did. Became one of the most famous Kerrang stories.
It did. It wasn't meant to be. I thought I'll nail them.
Might have even been a two-parter. I don't know. Who knows? It was on the cover. I remember.
It was on the cover. The headline was "Nothing Like a Good Time," and it.
This was in the. We should say this was in the era where Kerrang writers, you would put the surrounds of the story in. So, you know, if something, I was on the story would always start on the plane over or something.
Mine would.
Yeah. But this was of a different order, of an entirely different order to that. This started in the cupboard because
people would say it wasn't the cupboard,
but between the experience at the Meadowlands and it being in the pages of Kerrang, it had become a cupboard.
It
had become a cupboard. Yeah.
Well, that was 88, and here we are all these years later.
Still
a
poison
fucking
lecture in the cupboard, and it had repercussions. It genuinely had repercussions.
It did. It fucked them up in terms of because in those days, no internet. Kerrang was the big beast.
It was, but also it's like we spent the whole first part of the pod saying they were fun. They were the guys who didn't give a shit about backstage passes. They were the guys who, if a couple of kids got backstage, they're not going to have them thrown out. They're going to give them a beer. They were those kind of guys.
They really were from Pennsylvania, which is not New York or LA.
Yeah, that's right.
You know. And also, I've just remembered talking about it. I had interviewed them the day before in New York.
Yeah.
And it was the same as the first time I'd met them. We were just fucking best buds forever. And you might say they were falsely friends.
But in retrospect, I mean, thinking about it now, probably the band themselves had no idea until
Ricky came in and went, "Oh, look, the two guys from Kerrang!
Yeah.
Better lock the fucking door."
But then why did he do that?
Well, he didn't. He got one of his slaves to come and do it, didn't he? Yeah. Do you know what? In all seriousness, I've spoken to many, many people since about this. I remember Sharon Osbourne saying to me, I really laughed when I read that story.
It was funny.
She goes, but that happens all the time. It happens all the time. No one ever really seems to know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
She said, the band's record company should have had a PR with you. It's a major band, a major story with the major magazine outside America, even in America at that point. There was no one there taking care of you.
Yeah.
So that's their fault. The guys in the band not taking it upon themselves to figure this out. She goes, that's all bands. They don't care. They have people to do that.
Yeah.
But they didn't have people.
No, that's what, yeah.
Well, they
definitely,
did, but I remember me and Ross turned up in a taxi from New York. It was like a fucking hour's drive. It cost a fortune. And we literally at the backstage all go, hello? We've come about Poison. And Poison hadn't even arrived yet, you know. And then we're showing the pass, and the David Lee Roth people are going, I wouldn't even wipe my arse on that.
Yeah,
mate. What are you, fucking male groupie?
Yeah. Well, you probably were.
Well, I said,
I'm here for nothing but a good time.
I just said, listen.
Talk dirty to me.
I said, you know what they say, Brett? Every rose has its thorn.
Yeah. And you were about to find out.
But because I was in LA so much in those days, the story comes out, and I'm still in LA. And of course, by this point, they all live in LA.
They're back. They're back in town.
And the next time I see them, I'm with Slash. And at this point,
Their
guns are exploding.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, Brett is a smart guy, you know. And I could see him do the calculation. He said, we've just fucked off this guy who's now with this guy, the coolest rock star in the world at this point. Who's right or who's wrong doesn't matter. We fucking made a big mistake here. And bless his heart, he went out of his way to... He goes to country, he goes, I don't know if I should talk to you. And I went, I don't know if I should fucking talk to you. Because I'm the big I am at this point.
Yeah, you're not bearing a grudge.
No, God,
no way.
Me?
Yeah, Mick Wall? No way.
Mick Wall? Go bad on you?
Yeah.
No way. You got the wrong guy.
Yeah, the wrong dude, man.
You're barking up the wrong.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, you're thinking of, you know, Dante Benuto or
evil bastard.
Howard Johnson.
Straighten your mic and get close.
Oh, for
I'm always
God's sake.
telling you. I'm always telling you.
Go on.
So, long story short, we did become pals again, and then the third album was it Flesh and Blood?
It was Flesh and Blood, and then grunge comes along, doesn't it?
And CC leaves, and suddenly
They get
it's like when
Richie
Vince
Cotts
leaves.
and
Yeah, he was a great guitar player, but you don't need a great. It was like getting John Corabi, and you go, "Well, he's a great singer."
Yeah, but
who gives a fuck?
You don't need a great singer.
You
and then wasn't something where one of them had an affair with one of the other's wives? Kotzen had an affair with someone's wife or something. That's why that all went
That
bad.
rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fact that the album bombed, obviously.
Well, it's probably both, in fairness.
But they went out on a high.
Do you think they would have tolerated it if it was the biggest album in the world?
Tolerated shagging the missus?
Yeah.
If there's any sense, yeah.
Okay.
You know. But they went out on a high with, and here's one you haven't mentioned yet. Unskinny bop, 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 bop.
Oh, yeah, that was quite a good one, wasn't it?
That was their last big hit.
Yeah.
Unskinny
But then
bop,
cut
bop,
forward,
bop.
and you mentioned this the other day. I now do remember doing a story on them in about sort of 2006 or something. And it had kind of come full circle because that was just about the start. And they were one of the very first bands to cash in on it, was the Nostalgia, which was, 15 to 20 years later, it kicked in.
Yeah.
And they were one of the first bands to go on one of those package summer American. And I remember interviewing Brett while they were on it. And it was Poison, probably Faster Pussycat,
Yeah.
and I can't think who else it would be, but someone Extreme or someone like that, some other band of the time, and they're there, and he's going, and I'm sort of thinking, I wonder what this is going to be like, and he's like, Matt, it's 20,000 people every night, and they are here for nothing but a good time.
Absolutely.
They're here to play the hits. We all do. I think he said something like, we all do about like an hour or something, not even an hour.
Yeah. Proper stuff.
Yeah.
Well, last summer, before the pandemic ruined everything, there was a huge stadium tour booked across like 60 shows or something.
Yeah.
Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Poison, and someone else.
Yeah.
And
See,
I can't remember
that's
who
going to clean
that's
up.
A, that's a
That's
fucking
gonna
great
clean
night.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw 2 years before, I saw Def Leppard and Journey do the same thing.
Yeah.
And they were doing, 40,000
Yeah.
stadiums.
That's the amazing thing.
And it was a great night out.
And it's not like it's $20 a ticket. It's sort of $100 a ticket.
And then you buy all the other stuff that you buy. But no bullshit from our new album.
No. This is
Neil
the hits,
Schon of Journey said to me, goes, we do the dirty dozen. That's what they call them. We do the dirty dozen, the 12 hits, and we fuck off. And everybody goes home happy.
Yeah.
Or because they would, one night, I saw them 2 nights at the Forum in LA. The first night, Journey headlined, and the second night Def Leppard did. But they both do the same set time.
Yeah.
Hour, whatever
whatever it is, yeah.
And it's a great, you see Journey do their 12 big hits. You go to the bar, get sushi and a fucking latte or whatever the fuck it is you want. You go back and here's Def Leppard doing their 12 hits,
Yeah.
It's a fucking good
It's
night.
a good night, yeah. And Poison would, again, they latched on very quickly to the early bits of glam, and they latched onto this very quickly. And I've been one of the bands that have done that. I don't know if they do it every year, but I think they do it most years, don't they? They go out and do
And
that.
they're fun.
Yeah.
And this is what we want at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, I'm a big fan of Tool or, the serious shit. I am a big fan.
Yeah.
But
Stephen Wilson, he's your mate.
I love, now you're talking.
Yeah,
That's
I love it. Yeah.
That's a serious artist.
Yeah.
You go and see a Stephen Wilson show, you do want to hear the new stuff.
Yeah.
It's very much part of the night out. But there's a real place for, jukebox
Yeah,
show.
exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, yeah. And you kind of seeing them, and they've just about. There's a lot of joking about Brett and his bandana and the hair and everything. But they're just about keeping it together still.
Do you know what? I don't think it even matters anymore. I mean, back in the 80s when he first started wearing the bandana, same time Axl did, same reason, just to keep the sweat out. It was a thing. Remember in Kerrang we used to do the thing Syrup of the Week?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where we'd expose. And it was endless, the amount of people we exposed.
There was, as they say, no shortage of candidates.
And this is kind of the early days of the weave. These guys are wearing fucking wigs.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
it.
because there was no... I mean, now you probably could go and get some
definitely.
DNA altered or something and your hair magically grows back. But back in the day...
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
You wanted to cover it up, you had a hat or you had a wig.
Or a bandana.
Yeah, or a bandana,
Yeah.
But
or in Axl's case, a bandana, a wig and a hat.
But Brett's bandana did go back a long way, as I remember. It went up and then kind of back,
That's possibly it. I remember once in about 1990 or something, talking to the photographer Neil Slowzower in LA, and Neil used to talk, probably still does talk like that because he's going a little deaf, so he's going a little bit louder. And you go, fucking hell, And he was talking about he'd just been taking pictures of David Lee Roth. And he goes, I'm thinking, hey, Dave, you're losing your fucking hair, man. I mean, get a fucking weave, get a wig, do something. And as a joke, I went, what is it as bad as mine? Pushing my long hair back. And he went, oh, no, not as bad as that. I'm like, fuck you, Neil.
Fuck you,
I was really
Zozo.
shocked.
Yeah.
I was like...
And upset.
Like
you were in the cupboard.
I never really got over it.
I'm never talking to you again.
That's what you said, how dare you?
Yeah,
how dare you?
How dare you say that about my hair?
There was another time, same era.
Same
Because there comes a
era.
time, especially if you've got long hair, okay, you're going a bit thin, but you don't think, bald. That doesn't, yeah. I'm a little thin. I
Yeah.
can fix that.
Yeah.
Bit of fucking shampoo
Yeah.
and brushing. I'm at a Bonham show at the Palace Theatre in LA, which Town and Country in London. It holds about 1,000,
Yeah.
1,500. Lots of bars, people standing up, drinking and rocking. And it's packed. And I found a really good vantage point near the mixing desk. So I've got my drinks. I'm on my own, and I'm and
Still not. Don't need that +1.
still don't need that plus one. No. You can have.
It's
that.
known throughout the business now.
It's the
Mick Wall.
same now.
Mick Wall doesn't need.
It's the same now. People go, do you want a
Put
plus
it down.
one? I go, oh yeah,
put
yeah.
Put it down for him, but he doesn't need it.
No, I just say put it. No,
Don't. When you do the count, don't worry.
yeah. I don't even
Yeah.
turn up myself half
Yeah.
the time. So I'm watching Bonham. I've got this really good vantage point, and it's packed. And this happens to just be a really good vantage point. And I went to get a drink.
You've used the term vantage point about 5 times, and it's really, I don't think there's anything I've ever heard you say before pertaining to a gig or anything else.
Well, because it was packed, and
Right.
I don't know if you probably haven't noticed, but I'm not the tallest.
Did
man
you have your
in-
cowboy boots on or not? No.
Probably. I still wasn't the tallest.
Yeah.
And so I went to get a drink. I came back, and 2 girls had taken my spot.
Taking your vantage
Had
point.
taken advantage of my vantage
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, fuck that. Oh, I'd been interviewing Jason that afternoon.
Yeah.
We must have had about 10 pints each. This is before he even went on stage.
He was
but
an avuncular figure, Jason Bottom, wasn't he?
fucking great guy,
Very
good
guy,
fun.
yeah.
And a great musician. And so I'm like, I'm not in my strictest mental health, and I'm like, these fucking girls, So I kind of did that easing in front of them
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like I'm not noticing that I'm
Yeah.
now barring their view.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a pint in each hand. Oh, see Jason.
Yeah.
So I'm
My
nudging
friend.
over, nudging
He's my
over.
friend.
Nudging. One of these girls goes, "Hey, asshole!" I'm like, "Oh yes, madam. You're in my fucking way." I'm like, "Well, actually, this was my spot."
Yeah.
And then I went to get a drink. She goes, "You're receding." Felled me.
you
Felled
were
me. So now
enjoying your
I
night
just start
out.
nudging away again.
Yeah,
I'm now
yeah.
going to fade into obscurity. It was the perfectly timed
Yeah.
insult.
Yeah. Just struck right at the core of your.
Because it got me
Being.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I thought,
You hadn't yet admitted to yourself that you were receding.
well, I didn't even know I was until some very attractive young woman goes to the ultimate put
To
down.
get you out the way.
Hey, asshole! I'm like, my name was Hey, asshole.
You turned around, yeah, that's my name, yeah.
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 You got me. You're in my fucking way. I said, well, actually, you're in my way. You're receding. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I literally just,
Off you went.
went to the dressing
The
room. So
asshole
I said,
left.
Jason, you know what they said, Jason? I didn't do
And he
that.
said where you are.
Anyway, back to Poison.
Yes.
I interviewed Brett. You talking about the classic rock era? Issue 3 or something of classic rock, 1999, and I discover Poison have begun. CC is back, and they've started doing shows, and I get an interview with him, and it was fantastic. It really was like catching up with an old bro.
Yeah.
We were never, you're never really friends, but we were both of us on the other side of the rainbow,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
my career had taken a dump in the 90s as well, when I went to work for you, John.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
that was the end of
The
my
end of the line.
fucking career.
And on your first day, I said to you, hey, man, you're receding. Not just your hair either, your fucking writing.
Your fucking
So get
career,
at the
mate.
back. Get at the
Everything-
back.
Everything
That's
about
where
you
your
is
desk
receding.
is. Yeah.
You, man.
Yeah.
See, your problem is you're receding.
You're receding. Yeah, that's your problem.
So we're having this great chat, and
Are you both thinking who's going to mention it first?
so no, it was, and it was. It made me very not nostalgic necessarily, but it made me revisit those times in my mind. Because in the day, you really were one day to the next, a new thing, a new band, a new story, whatever it was. And I suddenly really did miss the days of Poison being just the funnest,
Yeah.
greatest group. And And so, not doing research for this, but just something else I'm working on, I found your story from 2006. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, thank you. Yes.
And then I dug up some videos and stuff. And I said, oh, fuck me, man. We had no idea how lucky we were to have a group like that. I wish someone else would come along like that right now.
Yeah, just like flat out fun.
I think they were ahead of their curve.
Yeah.
I mean, Guns N' Roses were kind of... I love Guns N' Roses, okay? But they were kind of retro in a way. They were kind of like... we're from the 70s, and that's what made them very appealing originally in the late 80s. But Poison were from the future.
Yeah, they were. And they, and it was interesting that they were influential in a way, in a way that at the time everyone wanted to look like them because they looked amazing.
Yeah.
But you also got the band that popped into my head right away. I mean, obviously Tiger Tails over here, who were like a sort of British boys, Tattooed Love Boys, those kind of guys, they just, because Poison hit this very sweet spot. And these other people wanted to be, but it showed it wasn't as easy as it looked.
Well, none of them came up with Talk Dirty.
No, that's right. And you think all these things, you think these songs are throwaway and quite dumb in their way, but actually
they're immortal.
Actually, it's hard to do that. You think it,
Do you know, for a few years after that period, I used to have Phil Spector's Christmas album, and me and the chick. My shack job in those days. No children. We're not married. We're just, live together. Until we don't. And then we do. And then we don't. So, but every Christmas Day,
I remember it. Yeah.
We used to start in the morning with champagne, put on Phil Spector's Christmas album. And it got replaced by the first Poison album because it was just so fun and festive and undeniable. You didn't argue with I Won't Forget You or I Want Action or Talk Dirty to Me or any of... They were just fucking great.
Yeah. Amen, brother.
Yeah. Get out the sex tape, John.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a review, share it with a friend, or plain old subscribe wherever you listen to it. To get you some conversation online, follow us on Twitter at GetchaPod. Until next time.
This has been a No Filter Media production.
Say what you want.